என் கடலை திடலாக்கி என் மகனகத்து மனரங்க என் மாநாட தொட்டி என் மகளாளர் தொட்டி எட்டி.
There is a word in India called ahimsa, non-violence. In its truest form, it means respect for all forms of life, particularly those of animals. In a country where every coin is a small fortune, hospitals have been set up by particular Hindu sects just to care for wounded animals and birds. But animals are more than just companions. They're closely woven into the economic structure of this agricultural nation, be it camels that carry scarce supplies to the remotest deserts, or the lord of the jungle who helps carry heavy timber from the most wooded of forests. The elephant is the workhorse of the mountains of the southwest, and his reliability, nobility, and uncomplaining hard work are reflected in the god Ganesh, who is venerated throughout the country for imparting wisdom and good fortune. Animals are constant throughout Indian mythology. Ganesh, the elephant-headed god, is joined by the monkey-styled god Hanuman, known for infinite strength and speed. Yet the one animal that stands out in India, in religion, culture and everyday life, wherever you go, is the cow. The cow is Mother Earth, bringer of nourishment and life, and for a Brahmin, one of the surest ways of transport to heaven. In India today, traditional ways merge with modern technology to produce a cultural blend unique and fascinating. There are many wondrous things which make India different from anywhere else, including veneration of the cattle. Indians accept it as a natural part of their way of life. Foreigners, seeing it for the first time, are startled and often puzzled. Pause for a patient look, and the puzzle may be resolved, and the wonder remain. In the cities, cows are everywhere. They have the right of way and rights to every part of the way. Traffic must be very careful not to injure cattle. This would be a crime subject to quite heavy penalties. Cattle are citizens of great status. For their comfort, they're left undisturbed wherever they choose to rest. The cattle are respected and honored. The first bread cooked each day is given to them. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Cow protection is one of the most wonderful phenomena of human evolution, for it takes the human beyond his species. Cow protection is the gift of Hinduism to the world, and Hinduism will live as long as there are Hindus to protect cows." The regard for cattle reflects their importance in the land. There are at least 175 million cattle in India, 47% more than in all of North and South America, and 17% more than in all Europe and the Soviet Union combined. With only 3% of the Earth's land surface, India has 30% of the world's cattle. Some Hindus claim that the dust haze over India rises from the trampling of multitudinous hooves, and that this dust may be considered purifying to body and soul. It may be argued that there are too many cattle in India, but in the rising current of nationalism, the sacred cow is becoming more than ever a symbol of Hinduism, supported by persons from all walks of life. Because cattle are just as sacred as people, they should live out their natural lives on earth. But this means they must face the same sorrows of misfortune, poverty, and old age. Not all suffering, either of animals or people, can be relieved because of the economic problems still to be overcome. But for many cattle fallen on hard times, there is refuge. At least 3 million cattle in India are cared for in more than 4,000 homes. Some are purely charitable institutions, depending on private donations. Some are supported by temples. Other institutions are like retirement homes, where people can bring cattle they can no longer look after and pay for their upkeep there. How can we account for the unique Indian phenomenon of cattle worship? The explanation lies in human nature, the beginning of civilization, and in Indian history. Milk is the first food for everyone. In the first days or months of life, the child turns to the mother, godlike in her power to give sustenance. In some societies, without other milk sources, the breastfeeding may continue in attenuated form for years. But in all the cattle-raising regions of the world, the cow may quite quickly take over as the foster mother. Cattle were first domesticated in the Middle East, and in the early civilizations there, the cow was venerated as the mother goddess. Under the name of Hathor in Egypt, she was depicted with the sun between her horns. The concept may have spread from the Mediterranean to India, where reverence for the cow as mother goddess lives on into our time. In a palace at Jodhpur, on the 12th day of the 12th month of the Hindu year, a Rani performs the Bach Baras ceremony. It honors a cow with a bull calf as a celebration of all mothers with sons, human mothers and sacred cows alike. Other families follow suit with their own ceremonies. The concept of the sacred cow may have come to India from the Mediterranean, but the cow itself did not. They look different from European cattle, especially because of the hump. Other differences are the long ears, the large dewlap, and the bush at the end of the tail. Indian cattle are better suited to tropical and arid conditions. They have more sweat glands to keep them cool. They drink less water, and they have different grazing patterns. Indian cattle are said to be more alert and intelligent than European cattle, and to have a milder temperament. Could it be that the nature of the cow itself has played a part in the enduring respect it has in India? Because of the geographical separation and interbreeding, there are at least 26 distinctive breeds in India today. The bull is an emblem of Shiva, in whose honor the Shore Temple at Mahabalipuram near Madras was built 1300 years ago. Shiva is one of the great gods of India. and his cult may have developed from the Indus Valley civilization. All over South India, temples have been raised to honor Shiva and his particular bull called Nandi. At Madurai, Nandi is shown bearing Shiva and his wife Parvati. Above the city of Mysore, pilgrims come to worship an image of Nandi, carved from a single huge granite boulder. Passing their hands over a flame warmed at the sacred bull's side, women seek fertility and fortune from the water in which he's bathed by Brahmin priests each morning. The sacred river Ganges, conceived as a powerful goddess, flows past the city of Varanasi, once known as Benares in central India. Pilgrims come from all over India to seek blessings from the river. Vessels in the shape of the sacred bull of Shiva are used to pour her holy water over them as they pray to the river goddess. Nandi is the supreme symbol of respect for all male cattle, which throughout the south are given days of honor. In the state of Tamil Nadu, the bringing in of the rice harvest each year is celebrated by a 3-day festival called Pongal. The bullocks, which drag heavy loads throughout the year, race their carts against one another. The high point of the festival is the bull running. Every man in the countryside comes to the town street, where the likes of the powerful bull of Shiva will pit their strength against men. The bulls are paraded through the crowd. The spectators know the records of many of them from performances in previous years, some of them awe-inspiring. The bulls have been pampered throughout the year for this great proving day. Renown from a good showing will enhance their value as stud bulls. New bulls are persuaded into the stall to launch their charges. The aim of the challengers is to cling to the bull in its run for a distance of 30 yards. For successful runs, rewards in the form of towels may be tossed down by the spectators. The cult of Shiva, and with it the respect given to male cattle, is only one of two main streams in Indian religion and cattle worship. Shiva was probably the more anciently recognized, but another god arrived to share partnership with him, and in the eyes of some believers, to have supremacy. 4,500 years ago, the civilization of northern India fell to the advance of Aryan-speaking pastoral nomads, originally from Central Asia, part of a movement which also took the Aryans into Western Europe. As the Aryans moved into India with their herds, cattle became increasingly important to them. As the religion of the Aryan invaders blended with that of the older Indian populations, the Aryan god Vishnu became associated with the protection of cows. Vishnu has appeared on earth in a series of incarnations, the most important as Krishna, the dark-skinned one, seen here on a temple at Madurai with his light-skinned foster brother Balarama. All over India, Krishna is honoured. In an ancient temple at Vrindavan in North India, close to where he was born, beneath images of the adult Krishna and his cowherd consort Radha, the baby Krishna lies in a 500-year-old silver cradle. Visitors may rock it for a gift to the temple of 2 rupees. To hide him from a wicked king who feared a prophecy that Krishna would grow up to kill him, he was passed over secretly at birth to a family of cowherds in nearby Vrindavan. As Krishna grew up, he serenaded his beloved cows and loved all the cowgirls. Paintings and sometimes electric displays in temples celebrate his virile youth, full of miraculous performances. Krishna's most famous feat was when he lifted the mountain near Vrindavan to shelter the cows and the people from a flood sent down by Indra, the storm god, who wished to destroy Krishna's rising prestige. Far to the south, 1500 years ago, the miracle was carved into this granite cliff at Mahabalipuram. Transmuted to modern times, the Krishna legend continues to vitalize Indian belief. At Vrindavan, in the international temple of the Hare Krishna movement, Westerners mingle with Indians in the love dance of Krishna and the cowherd girls. They dance in front of the images of Krishna and Balarama, the gods in human forms who guarded the sacred cows. The idol of Krishna with its pastoral setting suits Indian reality because, despite the prominence of cattle in the cities, 96% of all cattle are in rural areas. In Rajasthan, the Vishnoi sect of Hindus live probably much as did the early Aryans when they changed their nomadic way of life to settle agriculture. Cattle are crucial to the life of the Vishnoi. They're vegetarians, but for a greater part of the year, the land is too dry to grow much crop, so milk is vital food for them. The milk supplements their staple grain crop, millet, which is planted when the soil is moistened by the southwest monsoon. Long before the rains come in May, the soil is made ready. Male cattle provide the force to pull the plough through the hard ground. The millet is stored in earthenware silos. Cow dung ash is mixed in with it as an insect repellent to keep away weevils. Each morning, enough grain is taken out to make the daily bread. Before the grain is ground to flour, the cow dung ash is separated from it. In the early morning, the flour is used to make breakfast rolls.
Oma doare. Oma.
There are very few trees left in Vishnoi land, mainly only a spiky bush, not very suitable for firewood. Cow dung mixed with straw is used as the fuel, and it provides an excellent slow baking heat. The Vishnoi are strict adherents to the doctrine of ahimsa, respect for all animal life in all forms, so all animals are protected. The cow is simply the most sacred, but when its life is gone, its skin may be used. The Vishnoi themselves may not work on it, so itinerant craftsmen of another caste are employed. In India today, all secular discrimination on caste grounds is illegal, but religious distinctions remain. Leather shoes, having been made by another caste, could carry pollution into sacred Vishnoi courtyards, and so must be left outside. When the millet is harvested, nomadic peoples, called Raika or Ribari, may bring their herds to feed on the stubble, with the proviso that they leave the cattle dung where it falls to fertilize the next season's crop for the Vishnoi. Signs erected by a Maharaja generations ago reserve land away from villages as grazing land, open to all. Even so, the semi-arid country where the Vishnoi and other groups live cannot sustain all the cattle bred. Cows are usually kept by the villagers because of the value of their milk, but many of the male cattle are sent off for sale to buyers from more intensive agricultural districts. From all over Rajasthan, cattle are taken each year to the great fair at Pushkar. The fair begins on the full moon of the 11th month, usually early in November by the Western calendar. The roads in all directions towards Pushkar are crowded with animals and with people. Pushkar is also a pilgrimage centre, and people use the occasion of the fair to come to Pushkar to bathe on the auspicious last day of the fair in the holy lake in the centre of the town. The animals assemble on the undulating ground outside the town. By the height of the fair, there are up to 28,000 cattle, 18,000 camels, and several thousand horses. Men, women, and children come from all the different groups and sects in Rajasthan, often distinguishable by the colours and forms of their dress. The fair is a great mingling ground, a meeting place for old friends, and a venue for new experiences. On the main street of the fairground, entertainment never stops. The population of Pushkar, usually only a few thousand, swells to 250,000. For 5 days, the sleepy town is awake to as great a noise as any in India. All the while, the main business of the fair is going on, the buying and selling of cattle. By the second day, the number of animals has built up to its maximum, and a huge selection is available for buyers to consider. As expressions of love for the sacred animals, or with business eyes, owners have tried to make their cattle look the most beautiful. Spurred by the beauty of the competition, last-minute efforts are made to catch up. The majority of cattle for sale are bullocks. They are the animals the sellers from the dry pastoral areas are forced to sell, and the ones sought by the intensive agriculturists. For a good pair of bullocks, the price may be quite high, up to 2,000 rupees, equal to $150. Wherever people and cattle are assembled together, there too, Krishna, the god guardian of cows, is present in spirit. Like Krishna, when he was a cowherd on earth, a herdsman plays to his friends. No cattle or camel dung is wasted, because it can be sold for fertilizer or fuel. The immense fairground remains remarkably clean, almost free of flies or smell. In the arena, there are competitions organized by the government for the best cattle of each of the major breeds. This cow and her calf are awarded a consolation prize. The younger oxen are often sold in groups to bulk buyers who will resell them in smaller lots in their home areas. For some oxen, a transaction can mean a sad parting from an old home. The bargaining is intense. Buyers and sellers have both come very long ways. For the sellers, the sale is the culmination of months or years of tending the cattle. And for the buyers, it can mean a good return for money or a bad loss. From the second day onwards, as the purchasing proceeds, the number of animals gradually dwindles. But not very fast, because many of those who come to trade also stay on for the ritual bathing on the last day of the fair. As the fair draws to a close, the roads away from Pushkar are crowded with people, cattle and camels. For many, the journey will be far, because cattle bought at Pushkar go not only to other parts of Rajasthan, but to neighbouring states as well. Nearly all make the long journeys by foot and hoof. The oxen bought at Pushkar, like hundreds of thousands elsewhere in the country, will go to work supplying a great part of India's energy needs. Over the whole of India, there is a pair of bullocks for every 3.8 hectares of arable land. Unlike buffaloes, cattle can work on dry lands as well as on wet. Cattle, said Mahatma Gandhi, make agriculture possible. In dry times and in arid regions, oxen bring up life-sustaining water. By an ancient method, water in a dry part of Rajasthan is hauled up from 20 or more feet underground. Near Ajmer, where the water table is closer to the surface, the water is drawn up by a wheel system developed in Persia and brought to India by the Mughal conquerors in the 16th century. In the dry season, the water is used to irrigate small vegetable crops. At Rahoti village in the sugarcane region, about 80 miles from Delhi, cattle prepare their own fodder from sugarcane tops. The tops are inedible unless pre-masticated by the machine. In Delhi, cattle cooperate in civic refinement. At Jodhpur, fodder is hauled up for the cows in the ancient fort. Throughout all the towns of India, oxen pull their many different loads. With good political sense, this ox carries the colours of the ruling party of his state. Popular art reflects the high regard in which cattle are held. Many posters for sale in shops depict cows. Some show how all the gods have homes in the cow, from the sun and moon in the eyebrows to the god of the underworld in the bushy tail. In all degrees of religious sophistication, the cow is respected as sacred. In Hindu conception, the cow gives 5 products of great benefit to people, and all of which, because they come from the sacred cow, are regarded as holy gifts. The first holy product of the cow is milk. The wandering city cows graze wherever they can. By scavenging, it may be argued, they are helping to keep the cities clean. Certainly, they're processing otherwise waste material for human consumption in the form of milk. Most of the city cows, including all those in milk, go home at night, often to poor families to whom milk is vital. Although there do seem to be very many cows in the cities, there are not nearly enough to supply all the milk needs of the urban population. Much of the milk is brought in from thousands of village homes. presence of her calf is necessary to induce the Indian cow to give milk. Brahmin cows are not great milk producers. They have been favoured in India because they produce strong male offspring. This makes the milk they do give even more valuable, because in the largely vegetarian Indian society, milk is eagerly sought as a source of protein. From all around the countryside, milk is brought into the towns. Some customers trust only the milk which comes directly from the cow, which means the milkman must carry her calf with him. If her calf has died, the milkman may coax the cow to give milk by displaying to her the calf's skin stuffed with straw. The second holy product of the cow is ghee. Ghee is produced first by making butter and then clarifying it by heating. Most of the ghee is used as a cooking medium. Some castes in India, especially the priestly Brahmin caste, cannot eat food which may have been handled by castes of a different religious order. But if the food is cooked in ghee, it's freed from all pollution and is safe even for Brahmins to eat. Ghee made from buffalo milk does not have this power to purify. Only the product of the sacred cow can do so. Because of its holy quality, ghee is used to fuel lamps in temples and the little lights which pilgrims float on the Ganges to please the goddess and gain her blessing. The third holy product of the cow is curd. Curd is made by churning milk, which has been soured in the necessary way. Many Indians believe that for good health, one should consume curd twice a day. Compressed into cheese, curd finds a ready sale in the towns. The fourth holy product of the cow is dung. In the villages, where 80% of Indians live, cow dung is an important building material. In the territory of the Vishnoi, where there are few trees which could provide timber, houses are made of mixed cow dung and clay. The courtyards are constantly retopped with cow dung. When it dries, it leaves a hard polished surface, which, because cow dung is antiseptic, repels insects. The Vishnoi houses are kept scrupulously clean, and the smooth surface maintained by the efforts of the young women makes them easy to sweep. The floor is pleasant to walk upon with bare feet, which is the rule because leather shoes must be left outside the courtyard. The greatest use of cow dung is as fuel. Although India once had large forests, most of them have been gone for the last 1,000 years, and cow dung has filled most of the gap. On a cow dung fire in Jodhpur city, the stallholder is making a food special to Rajasthan, gola rota, long-lasting wheaten cakes which the famous warriors of Rajasthan once carried with them on their campaigns. In rural India, 25% of the total energy consumption for all purposes comes from cow dung, equal to 68 million tons of wood a year. For Indian villages, cow dung is a treasure, always close at hand. Indeed, a popular belief is that the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, finding no room left inside the cow, lives in the dung. Some say that the special quality of Indian cooking is due to the slow heat of cow dung fires. Sunset in India is the cow dust hour, the air infused with the soft pall and aroma of 1,000 evening meals being prepared. The fifth holy product of the cow is urine. In ancient Rome, emperors washed their mouths with it, and 19th century French ladies used it for beauty baths. In India, it is taken as a medicine or by sages seeking spiritual enhancement. A mixture of all 5 holy products of the cow is burnt to produce an ash, with which followers of the Shiva cult anoint themselves each morning and before important ceremonies. Sri Prakash Misra at Varanasi prepares to conduct a Gauda, or cow gift ceremony, in which, in order to gain merit for a future life, a rich person has bought a cow to give as a present to a Brahmin priest. It is Hindu belief that charity to others is repaid sooner or later by the same types of gifts to oneself by the gods. The greatest gift one can give is a cow to a priest. Then the return will be the granting of all wishes. The tail of the cow is especially blessed. After death, a person's soul seeking to reach heaven must cross a dangerous river in the afterworld. The cow presented in the ceremony will extend its tail from the heavenly side to help the giver across. As the cow passes to the Brahmin priest, the giver can be confident that its divine spirit will bless him now and in the hereafter. Cows give so much to people and expect so little in return. Therefore, over much of India, they have their special days of honor. The harvest festival in the state of Tamil Nadu in southern India is as much a celebration for the cows as for the people. Courtyards are painted with special designs and pumpkin flowers are planted in cow dung to ensure a fertile new year. Early on the morning of the first day, newly harvested rice is boiled and mixed with dried sugarcane juice to prepare a sweet dish called pongal. On this morning, the pongal is offered first to the sun god and then shared by all present. The second day of the festival is devoted to the cattle. Early in the morning, the cattle are bathed and decorated. All parts of the cow are holy and deserve decoration, except the mouth. This is because a cow was once called as a witness in an argument between the gods Brahma and Shiva. Seeking to please Brahma, the cow gave false evidence. Shiva, discovering the lie, cursed the cow's mouth forever. The trident symbol of Shiva is painted on the bulls' heads, identifying them with the divine strength of the great bull Nandi. On this second day, devoted to honouring the cattle, the sweet pongal dish is first fed to them before the people have it. The cattle are persuaded to eat the pongal because it's a communion food, spiritually uniting them with the people and with the sun god. The head of the family, to which this farm belongs, has invited all those who've worked on it throughout the year to bring their cattle here to be honoured. To each cattle owner, he presents a towel, which the owner then gives to a cow or an ox to carry for him. It is a day of rest for all cattle. No work is done by the oxen on this day. Back in their homes, fated and well fed, the carts they've pulled long and hard lying empty, they can rest at the end of 1 year's labour and before the beginning of the next. It is the belief of devout Hindus that their present lives on earth are but instances in a series of lives, which may, if they follow the path of virtue, beginning with respect for cattle, culminate in paradise. In the afterworld, there's a divine cow pasture called Gauluk, bordering an ocean of milk. Here, the sacred cows come to dwell in bliss, charmed by the flute of the great god, Krishna.